Coming this season on Rogue Life.
Hey there, it's me, Benny Bowers. So, the world has been pretty crazy since the last time you saw me. That girl that I kind of have a crush on friend-zoned me hard.
I mean, yeah, we sort of share a connection, but only in a way that you find between two good friends.
Sometimes storytellers need help just a bit.
I was detained and questioned by some secret government organization.
Mr. Bowers, we have this footage of you with Miss Blake and Mr. Peterson huddled together for an hour outside of the building.
The heroes are stuck, and they can't escape.
I infiltrated an apocalypse cult.
The Master must be released to bring back his power and strength to the chosen people through the enlightened veil.
And I faced down a rogue AI.
I'm all about creating new and interesting stories and entertaining. If it's just a bunch of puppets, but there's no one to watch the show, what's the point?
Going back, let's move forward.
Oh, and let's not forget getting caught up in a full-on Broadway musical.
With a day you set, knocking out, and when you're rocking a sock of a day you set, knocking up, those heroes will get away, and we'll surely save the day with a day you set, knocking out.
You'd think I'd get discouraged by all this, but nah, I'm just trying to live my best life.
Rogue Life Season 2 premieres March 25th, 2024 on your podcast app of choice.
Welcome back to The Fate of Daya and this actual play set in the world of No Return. What is up? It's me, Dylan, your Dungeon Master, and with me is my fabulous and beautiful co-DM, Kier.
Thanks
Kier,
very
how
much.
are you?
I appreciate the compliments. I'm very good. How are you, Dylan?
I'm smashing. And of course, we have our lowly players who are nothing but base filth for us to toy with. Say hi, lowly players.
Hello. Loving over here, just rolling around in my own filth like the worm I am. Some sort of pig worm hybrid, and I'm loving it.
It's probably the nicest thing anyone's ever said about me as well,
Nice.
so that was quite nice.
I'm pretty offended.
Oh.
Finally, someone has a good reaction to that, Gemma. Well done.
A sane one.
Yeah,
Join us in the filth, Gemma.
It's safe in the filth, Gemma.
It's warm.
Oh, gosh.
Disgustingly warm.
I want to go home.
I'm just, can I go home now?
Anyway, just bear in mind we can say whatever we want now because Kier will be cutting this.
No, I'm going to force him to keep this in. Okay, it's episode 2. And you know what that means? There's been an episode 1, which means we need to do a recap.
You really are a professional at this. This is some deep
Thanks.
shit.
I put a lot of effort into this intro, I swear. Kira, do a recap for me there, thanks.
I shall indeed. Thank you for the preamble that set me up there. So, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our table, and welcome back to our story. Last time on The Fate of Daya, in the heart of a beleaguered realm of Vash, the city of Daya stood as a beacon of hope amidst the shadow of a civil war that had raged for almost a century. Its streets echoed with the laughter of its citizens, joyous at the impending end of the tyrannous warlords. The city's heart was thumping with anticipation for the return of its army, which ventured northwards to retake the historical capital, Vasse. Within the city's bustling narrow lanes and alleys there emerged a figure known by many names, or perhaps, more accurately, one very long name made of many words. But here we shall call him Swifty in the interest of brevity. A self-made paladin forged by his own hand with a visage shrouded in mystery's band. His armour was as eclectic as his understanding of justice. From the misinterpreted scriptures he'd gleaned in his illiterate pursuits, he'd built his own moral compass. For 7 long years he had been the guardian of a humble neighbourhood, distributing his own form of justice, which sometimes involved confining young offenders in barrels as a peculiar form of repentance. His masked face and resolute voice were symbols of hope for some, and he was seen mentoring a young squire in the now-forsaken temple of Ai. As our tale wound further, we encountered Jorvin, a thief like no other, eloquent in speech and impeccable in attire. His most recent misadventure had him, inadvertently, pilfering the vibrant attires of wandering performers. With reluctant agreement, he transformed the attire of the city's paupers into a spectacle, hoping for some modest compensation. And then there was Salryn, a half-Nyx warrior who'd hung up her mercenary boots to join the city's night guardians, the Moonshields. She wandered the streets reminiscing of battles past with her comrade Zorin, and found herself at odds with Swifty's peculiar justice. But in the midst of their nightly duties, the ominous toll of bells shattered the night's serenity. Daya was under attack by the supposedly broken and imminently defeated warlords, who now approached from the great Lake Nuor with an armada of ships. Or boats, it's difficult to tell without seeing how they turn. In this dire hour, Zorin sought Salryn, and together with Swifty and Jorvin, an odd alliance which could foreshadow the peculiar politics of the city, methinks, they rallied to defend their home. As they clashed with the invaders, Swifty's unpredictable ferocity surprised all, as he felled foes with manic fervour. Salryn, with her twin blades, danced a deadly ballet, cutting down adversaries. Yet amidst the valour, names like Shamis Vermilion and Rufus Sark were etched into the annals of martyrdom. In stark contrast, Jorvin's heart trembled. The cacophony of battle was alien to him, and his single attempt at defence misfired. He sought refuge in the shadows, away from the maelstrom. But as the dust of battle settled and the heroes stood triumphant, a grim sight met their eyes. The horizon painted a ghastly hue of red, as Daya and its peripheries were engulfed in flames. The cunning enemy had, unseen, sown the seeds of destruction within.
Right, so Kira, you're a fucker, because you can clearly just edit out everything that we said before that and just have your own nice little intro to go over.
Very good.
Very nice, yeah.
I got told to prepare an intro, just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's about time you did some prep in this.
Like
you know,
5
you only have to.
minutes, just,
Yeah.
Is that what those improv sessions were about? Yeah.
Now, please, Dylan, if you could, improv as eloquently as Kia's prepared little speech for us.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, Jack. I started writing the intro, this next intro, for about at 5 to 8 when I thought we were still going to start at 8 and not half 8. So I was really happy when I was like, I have an extra half hour to write. Fantastic. It is as Kira's described, and that is the scene you see before you, but right now it's 3 months ago. And Salryn, you are standing in a packed crowd. It's warm, late spring, early summer day, and you're standing shoulder to shoulder with the citizens of Daya, the city that you now call home. You're all crowded together in front of an old building, but not a ramshackle old building, an old palace that still stands glorious and resplendent, the proud flags of Daya flying strong above it. This was once occupied by the previous monarchy of a bygone era, now converted into various governmental buildings and departments that forms the heart of Daya's democracy. And standing on a raised platform in front of this crowd of thousands of people all jammed together stands a woman who many refer to as the heart of Daya, the newly elected Premier Vita Riven. She's like wearing very casual clothes, not what you'd think of like, you know, a state leader to be wearing. In fact, it's only her bright ceremonial sash that she wears across her chest is the thing that really sets her apart. And as she raises up her arms for the cheering crowd to be silent, you see her kind of just standing there, full of confidence. Friends of Daya, I thank you so much for your trust in me. This election is not my victory, this is yours. Everything I have done, continue to do, and will do in the future is because of you. Thanks to you, and for you. Never before has this proud, glorious, and defiant city chosen a leader for 2 terms in a row, let alone 3. But these are not normal times, my friends, no. These have been the times for hope, for dreams. These have been the times for us to stand with our backs straight and fight back with all of our might. These are the times that we have fought for almost a century of war with those foul warlords who have knocked on our city walls but have never been let in. And now they cower, they retreat, they realize that the end is near. They realize that Daya, after all these years, will not fall. In fact, we flourish. We, the people, demand an end to this war, and we will see it done. Right now, my very first commandment as your re-elected leader is to take back our ancestral home of Vasey and drive those warlords back to the holes that they crawled from. Together, we will not only win this war, but more importantly, we secure a lasting peace that we so rightfully deserve. Now is no longer the time of hope or of dreams. Now, these hopes and dreams become our reality. We are living in the next age. For Daya! And everyone goes nuts. Salryn, you're in the middle of this crowd. What's going through Salryn's mind? You've only been in the city maybe a handful of months now. You've heard a lot about Vita. Maybe what are some of the things you've heard? What are just some of the things that are going through your head now? What are some of the things that are being said around you?
I think Salryn is maybe not really sure. She's kind of maybe not quite as on board with it all, but probably because at one point the Vashik and I were fighting with the warlord, so she probably feels a little bit and maybe people don't like me very much if they find out, but I think she's also a little bit wary of authority, so she wants to celebrate, she wants to be happy, but she's just a bit wary, maybe not celebrating quite as hard as everyone around her.
People are in such good spirits that they're they're also so willing to ignore anyone who's maybe not at the same level, because they just when you're out with a load of drunk people and they also just assume everyone is also having a great time. That's kind of like that's very much the buzz of the city right now. But now, instead of cheers, you hear cries and shouts as people die and are wounded all around you. You're shoulder to shoulder again with the people of the city, but this time it's in the middle of the night. The haze of flickering firelight and smoke rising over the ridge that you've just stopped the warlord soldiers from taking and pushed them back into the sea is now hazy as you see Jorvin running back, telling of the fires that are surrounding Daya. You see a load of the your fellow city guards, your fellow moon shields, all kind of looking worried together, at first kind of thinking that, oh, this is it, we've pushed them back, and now they can smell smoke, they can see fire, and they've heard Jorvin's words, and everyone starts panicking around. You've all now heard this news that Jorvin has brought of parts of the city in flames, the fields and the farms and farmsteads around the city also fires sprouting up in them. What do you all do? What's going through your heads?
Swifty simply turns and starts running towards the city. No conversations with anyone. Jorvin's come over and said this is on fire. No! And just starts running. And that's it. He is gone. He is just charging towards the city. That is what he will do until he reaches the city now. That's it. He's going as fast as he is physically capable of going.
resolve that in a second. Salryn, what's going through your head now?
Salryn's staring. She's just staring at the fire, staring at what she thought couldn't happen, and is stuck. Total opposite. She's just frozen. She doesn't know what to do.
Jorvin, you've seen Swifty just fucking run, just run like the wind, and you now see Salryn kind of stuck, kind of almost paralyzed with fear. What's going through your head, and what are you thinking of?
Yeah, Jorvin is, I think, in shock, but he's maybe not as paralyzed as Salryn is about this. He's going to almost be looking towards her as if looking for kind of advice, what do we do? But seeing that she's not moving, he'll probably try and sort of shake her out of it. Salryn, are you? What do we do?
I don't. This wasn't meant to happen. This shouldn't be happening. What?
I'm sorry to say it is happening. I've got to do something about this now.
All right. Should we follow him?
Just try and catch up with him, I suppose, otherwise he's going to get himself burned.
You see, as you're having this conversation, you see Zoran walking up. He kind of hadn't been on the front lines. He'd been kind of commanding from the back. He walks up. His bald head, kind of glistening with sweat from the battle. He steps forward. He's like, Salryn, look, we're well fought, but it appears we've been a little bit outfoxed. Maybe our enemies are a bit smarter than we thought, huh? That's you look like you've seen a ghost. What's wrong?
Bit smarter? Are you seeing what's happening?
This is the ebb and flow of battle. You win some, you lose some. Now we go back. We take it back. It's easy.
All right.
Look, you moon shields. Honestly, I still understand. No, not enough time. You don't have a good chain of command. Whatever you need to do. But us Fashak and Daya, we need to support the Aurelians. We need to ensure a fighting defense back to the city that none of these bastards get in, okay? However, look upon you. And he's kind of standing, you're all standing now at the ridge as Swifty's still kind of running in the distance. You see that there are farms and stuff. As I said, ablaze. You also see that kind of coming from where, near enough to where you are, maybe a couple of kilometers south, there is an aqueduct that leads from kind of the mouth of the river Wirdroy and Lake Nuori to into the city. The backwards flowing river kind of is used as an aqueduct to bring water into the city. And he turns, he says, look, I understand you maybe want to go back to the city. There are farms on fire. If this turns into a siege, we need the food on those farms inside the city. But I understand, I'm not your commander. I can make suggestions, but I think you have a choice now. There is no wrong choice in these next few kind of choices that are going to be presented to you. However, the choices that you make and how you deal with the encounters and challenges that arise of these choices will have lasting effects on the city and on the game and how things progress. Think of it like a choose your own adventure book kind of thing.
What D&D is all about, right?
Yeah.
No pressure, guys. No pressure.
No pressure. So your first quote-unquote hard choice, the city guards are somewhat independent units. They don't have a good chain of command. Everyone kind of has their own thing going on and their own kind of routes and stuff. So there's no Zoran equivalent for you, Salryn. Zoran's kind of saying just to you, just out of, personal courtesy, because you used to be, allies and, fighting buddies. So your first choice is, do you go to the farms and try to, either defend farms there or, rescue farmers, bring food in, or do you go straight to the city and try to help what's going on in the city? There are fires happening in both places. What do you do? And I'm happy for you to all, as players, discuss this, even though your characters aren't all here. You know you could use the aqueduct as, like, it wouldn't be enough for, like, an actual big armed force to get there, but you could use the aqueduct like a service passage along the aqueduct to get into the city quicker than you would having to go all the way around. You know the aqueduct wouldn't be strategically viable as an assault route because it's like you could go single file along like a kind of dodgy service route. So 3 people could get there and use it to get back into the city much quicker than it would for you to go all the way around. So you can either get back to the city, investigate what's in the city and, see what's happening there and try to help, or you can basically avoid that and go to the farms that are surrounding the city.
So, strategically speaking, if we're going into a siege, we need to secure the food. Starvation is going to cause way more problems than any buildings and what have you that might get burnt down in the city. Actually, on a proper level, if we're talking about the siege, if extra people die in the city, that's maybe a good thing for the siege being able to hold out as long as possible. Wow. Not the way my character would see it, but, if we're going into strategy game mode here and doing a top-down perspective.
Yeah, you've pressed O for tactical view.
As my contribution, I'm evil.
It's a fair point. I think the food
completely,
Yeah. I got to throw a single spanner into the works. And Salryn, you would know that in times of emergency or crisis, such as a city being on fire would be, the standard operating procedure for the moon shields or the sun shields would be to basically muster at the barracks to kind of await instruction and further orders. That is something that Salryn would know. Salryn's by no means obligated to follow that. There are also stores of food inside the city and stuff like that, but yes, Jack is right in his summation that food outside the city, bad. Food inside the city, good.
Also, are the farms near the main entrance? Because Swifty will not be thinking particularly intelligently here. He's not going to be going, okay, I'm going to clamber up the aqueduct. I think he would just be going for the gate. So if they're near the farms, that's probably...
Yeah, so you guys passed a lot of farms and farmsteads and stuff on your way here. That's as much as I'm going to give you in terms of potential consequences.
I think, strategy-wise, it would make sense to get the food, but I'm not entirely sure if I'm talking on a character level. Salryn would. I think she'd go into the city. I think she'd probably maybe be smart about it and hit the aqueduct rather than going round, but she'd want to go back into the city and be where it's all happening, which is totally not what we just said.
No, sure. Well,
no, it is a character decision at the end of the day. I just don't want you guys metagaming it a little bit. But whatever.
It's a different thing. I made the joke of the strategy game view because it's a totally different thing when you are controlling a cursor and you're clicking on little icons of guys and maneuvering them. Character-wise, I literally just had my character run screaming straight at the city. It completely makes sense to go for a character decision.
I think Jorvin would be so worried that his clothes would be burned. He's probably going to be running back, to be honest. The most flammable thing in the city is that storehouse.
And just to put it out there, there are another maybe few hundred of the city guard around, So, basically all of them are also faced with the same decisions as you are. So it's not as if you go to the city, no one's going for the farms and that no food's going to get in. It's just what's your individual contribution and character choice going to be from this, and that will have an effect mechanically later on.
All right. So it sounds like it's the aqueduct then.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Dear me.
Aqueduct it is. Oh, you poor fool.
Sorry, farmers.
You maybe Salryn, you shout out to Swifty. You see the kind of the fervor in his eyes and then how he's running. You know exactly what he's doing. He's running back to the city. you hear Jorvin muttering about his precious scarves and stuff, and you know that, like, okay, we got to get back to the city. It's also what your training would dictate and stuff. You call out to Swifty to kind of say, we can take the aqueduct, it'll get us there quicker, you know? Tell you what, at this point, I need athletics checks from you all to kind of, as a gauge of how quickly you can climb up, get across. If you have other skills or other things that you can convince me otherwise of, sure, hit me with it. But this is going to be your first check. Oh no.
Fine. 11.
Okay, 11's good.
25. I'm very good at athletics.
Pretty good.
Can Jorvin use his second story work from being a master burglar to help with this?
I like that. I think there's an element of like being nimble in kind of scaling up like whatever like service handholds and stuff like that there are. Yeah, give me. Probably, I'm assuming you want to use acrobatics.
Imagine.
Or dexterity.
Dex or acrobatics would be good. So we'll go for that then.
I will say, tell you what, give me a dex, because it's not necessarily any acrobatic. You don't particularly need to balance or anything, so just pure dexterity, and that's the kind of how quickly you can move yourself up there.
That is 20.
You guys kind of get up there. Again, there's this kind of like you're running past this like weird backwards flowing water that's defying gravity and going into the city. As you do this, actually, as you're running, and you're all making it quite a good pace, give me, I'm going to say either just straight intelligence or insight checks.
11.
Not one.
I have proficiency in insight. That's surprising. Okay.
That is surprising.
18.
That's only one.
Why are the good rolls coming now? I feel like I'm spending
get them out of your system.
I'm saving mine up.
Oh, yeah, cash in the attic, yeah.
I'm going to say that Swifty, as you're kind of going along this aqueduct route, a thought kind of like niggles in the back of your mind of like, if we can get in this way, other people can get in this way too, and that this is going to be something that you're going to have to deal with eventually, because this is a weak point into the city. However, it is obviously one of the main water supplies. So that's just a little thought to throw into you there.
Somewhere in the back of his raging mind, there is that slight thought, briefly.
Yeah. But you get into the city, and you're kind of like on the west coast of it now. Maybe not too far from where the slums where you guys hang out and where Salryn's patrol is. And as you're rushing through, you all need to give me perception checks, please.
17.
Not 20.
Hey, there we go.
Oh shit! Nice. Jorvin, you're running through these city streets that you know intimately, especially in the depths of night. And you're very, very used to having your head on a swivel and keeping an eye out for things and, listening out for the telltale, jangling of the chainmail of the guard and the watch. And you're in an area that there is quite a lot of merchants is maybe a strong word for the type of people who do business in this part of the city, but there would be a lot of there would be like a small warehouse kind of near enough to your place that would house a lot of like grain and flour and stuff like that, and you see 3 figures like almost imperceptibly dart towards that general area. What do you all do?
Did you guys see those people? Did you see them rushing?
Enemies?
Maybe. I don't know. They're going to the warehouse with all the grain in it.
Stop charging off towards them.
No, you fool. No, be quiet.
We might as well follow him. What else are we going to do?
Oh, come on then, yes.
Yeah, so you spot them, you start rushing in. Are you going stealthily, or are you just are we doing a Swifty charge
I
at
can't
this?
not do a Swifty charge in this situation.
Yeah, of course.
His mind is so... Yeah, like he's all about protecting this place, and people have come in and are burning it. So, yeah. It's full charge.
Okay, so tell you what, because I want to honor this nat 20. The DC was 20 to spot these guys. This is a good kind of roll that you got, but a nat 20 is particularly good. And I want to honor that and reward that. But I'm not going to give you a surprise round because of the Swifty charge. But I'm going to ask you to also roll initiative, but you can roll it with advantage to basically kind of like say that you've got the drop on these guys. Because as you round a corner and you see two of them are trying to like bust open the front door, while the other one is kind of like has like a small like tinder box or something that he's trying to like catch, basically like a Molotov cocktail alight. Let me know what you get.
Another nat 20.
Today.
Me too.
Holy shit!
I got one as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god!
I was about to roll to boast about rolling an 18 and a 19, but never mind.
Yeah. Eat shit, Swifty. Yeah.
I forgot my 19 becomes an 18. I forgot I had -1. Yeah, I have -1 to initiative. So
You're literally not going to believe this, but I also rolled a nat 20 on initiative.
What does that even mean now?
That is insane. Okay.
Dex modifier time.
So
Just really ready.
it's modifier time. Yeah, so who has the highest dex?
I'm +2.
It's plus
Probably
4, I think, for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to go Jorvin, these baddies, Salryn, and then taking up the lowly rear. So slow, even with an 18,
But the
is
worst
50.
18 ever.
Yeah.
With a pathetic 18.
Pathetic 18.
To be fair, it's not a great nat 20 for me either. I'm still quite far down there.
Wow, yeah you
it's
go
just-
third with a nat 20.
Yeah.
Dang it,
That's
waste.
insane. But Jorvin, they have not seen you. You have the drop on them. They're, as I said, there's kind of two of them. They don't have weapons drawn or anything. They seem as if they're kind of like purely just here to cause damage. What do you do?
Do you say one's holding a Molotov? Was that the sort of style thing?
Essentially, he's like in the middle of like lighting it. I don't know if Molotovs exist in this world, Kier, but they do now.
Greek fire existed in ancient times. I'm willing to go with it.
Yeah, cool, great. Thanks. I didn't consult you before this.
Thanks, God.
They've ways and means of setting stuff on fire. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Jorvin will draw his bow, and he's going to aim for the one who looks like they're about to light up.
Yeah, great, nice.
14.
14 will hit. You let loose an arrow. These guys are deliberately not wearing armor. They are dressed all in black. You get the feeling that they are here to infiltrate, to not be seen, not necessary to fight. What damage did you get?
Okay. Plus another 7, so 14 in total.
Nice. You let loose an arrow from the shadows. Previously, you have been caught unawares, put off by the clamor of battle, but this is like, nighttime dodgy dealings in the streets. You notice, like the back of your hand, it pierces right through him. You see the Molotov kind of falls to the ground. Because you killed him before they could even act, I'm going to say he didn't get it alight, so it's like kind of like harmlessly on the ground. Do you have anything else you can do on your turn?
I could bonus action to hide. So I might try and dart behind something
Yeah.
and hide, then I think would be my...
Yeah, go for it. Give me a stealth check.
10.
Yeah, I was going to say, whatever you get succeeds, because on the complete swings of chaos and randomness, I rolled a nat 1 on their perception, so you disappear. They see their ally fall down, and they, in separate directions, start running away. Use your full turn to just dash and run. you can catch up to them with a DC 20 athletics check and still have your action, or else you'll have to dash to get to them. And it's Salryn. What do you want to do?
Athletics check. 19.
You get just close enough. You'll get there, and they'll need to basically disengage, or they'll take an opportunity attack. So you're in their face, but it will take your action to get there, unless you've got a bonus action or anything else you want to do.
No, I'll wait.
Cool. Swifty, it's you. You see that these guys have run opposite directions.
Just to give me a visual, if I run up to the warehouse, they've run into these two opposite streets that are like perpendicular to the warehouse?
Yes, essentially. They've just scarpered. So like one has like ran down like a side street behind it, the other has like run almost like along the main street, hoping to like dip down another side street, but in complete opposite directions of each other.
Cool. They're going to get a hand axe each. Is
nice.
what I'm going to do. I only have 2 hand axes, so let's give this a go.
Is this one that Salryn is at, or the one that is solo?
He'd go for the one that's solo first.
Okay.
Because, it's all happening simultaneously. He's probably not noticed she's missed yet. So, there we go. Okay, 21.
21, yeah, that's a 100% hit.
He has to make a strength saving throw to keep hold of his weapon.
I'll say they probably have like a crowbar or something like that. But I rolled a 19 on the die, so
yeah, he is going to make it. That is fine. So that is only going to be 9 points of damage for the first one.
9 points is still enough to take him out. These guys are not well armored; they're not very strong.
Okay, and he will just throw the hand axe at the other one then.
Yep.
Okay. Yes, 25 to hit. I rolled a 19 there.
Yep.
Ludicrous rolls here. I haven't rolled an at 20 yet, though. I'm the only one. And that is only going to be 6 points of damage on that.
Okay, he is still up, but he is wounded. Salryn, you see as you're chasing this guy down, an axe just kind of like whirls past your shoulder and like thunks into like the back of the guy's shoulder, kind of like, in between his shoulder blades as he's running along.
No, Swifty will just run to get as close to this guy as he can without doing anything additional. Yeah.
Jorvin will probably just dart out and try and get another shot off on this one that's running away.
Yeah, nice. You got advantage. You hit successfully. You've kind of like, you're using the knowledge of the streets to your advantage, so you can you see what direction he goes down. And you you know there's only one way that he could go. You kind of like go cut him off to get a nice clear shot and make your attack.
That's 22.
Yeah, I'm going to say any damage you roll is going to do it. He has 2 HP left. They only had 8 HP. And they all lie dead at your feet. All of you can give me investigation checks.
Oh, okay, there's my nat 20. My God, these rolls.
Well, we'll finally give you a nat 20 moment, Jack.
I've never had a character that rolls as well as Swifty does. This is ludicrous. It's, by the way, straight 20 plus 0 to investigation. So.
Of course, I expect nothing less.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm surprised it's a 20. Swifty, you recognize these 3 people. They're not barrel kids or anything by any means, but they are, young adults. They're maybe in their early 20s or so, and you would recognize kind of just some of them from being around the town. You've maybe kind of like bumped into them a couple of times on your patrols. They haven't seemed to have, been doing much, but they definitely seem to have been in the city for a while, but maybe only a couple of months. And you think back to when your squire Hector was telling you about how he's seen a lot of kind of shifty people around, and he's not sure what to think of them, and how if they're going to be good or bad, or what evil it is and what they look like. And that there have been like an influx of people into the city, and kind of with that nat 20 you realize that this attack has been like the signal for the enemy forces inside the city to rise up and start sowing chaos.
And he is, taking this guy's mask off and, to see his face. And as he says that, he's then just going to fully slam the guy down on the floor, just in frustration and anger at that. Because he remembers telling his squire not to worry about these people coming into the city, and is very, very annoyed at this. Straight onto the ground, stands back up, hand out.
Was that necessary?
They came in here, they broke bread with us, they have walked our streets, pretended to be our friends, and all this time they were waiting to kill us? They want to come in and in disguise and be unrecognizable. Well, when I'm done with them, no one's going to recognize them ever again. All right, and it's just...
Wait, before you run anywhere, just stop for 2 seconds. What are you talking about? You know these guys?
Not personally, but they have been wandering around. I've seen them on my patrols, just hanging about, taking the leisure, enjoying the sights. We welcomed them here, and then they've been here the whole time, and I missed it.
So there's more of them.
There must be
more of them, right?
There are other fires going up in the city at different points. Yeah. So just gestures to these columns of smoke.
Well, can you just stop running off for a little while, please? We'll do better, the three of us together. I can't believe I just said that. We'll do better, the three of us together. All right?
I need to go check on my people.
Your people? Who are your people?
My barrel boys. I need to go make sure they're okay.
What on earth is a barrel boy?
The ones you put in the barrels?
Yes.
He puts kids in barrels. It's weird. What? So you care about them now?
Why else would I put them in the barrel? Yes, of course I care about them. It's an act of guardianship and love. Yeah, I need to go make sure they're not being murdered.
Okay, well we don't have time to keep talking about this, so let's just...
Starts kind of jogging on the spot here. Right. I need to kill the ones who have done this, so...
Is the intention to try and go check up on barrel boys and denizens of the slums here and stuff like that? Or are you heading towards the barracks? The barracks would kind of be on pretty much the other side of the city. Completely up to you.
I mean, he's up for being convinced. Just player-wise, I'm just saying, he's putting this case forward very strongly. His mind is all over the place right now. So if you want to try and convince him, I'm not going to be roll a persuasion on me. It's fine.
Jorvin will definitely want to go and check on his little storehouse. That's definitely a big thing for him. It's the only thing for him.
Oh wow, so we might actually do a 3-way split here. Is that going to happen? I mean, I'm
going to tell you this for free without any checks or anything. You've just, by chance, intercepted a small unit of, infiltrators actively going out and trying to sabotage places around the city. So the fires you see, it's not so much about putting out fires as much as it is also stopping fires from starting. So the more time you spend maybe not going towards things might mean that more fires start, and it's going to be harder then to stop them in the future. But at the same time, maybe your barrel boys like Hector have seen people around and might know some things. It's a hard choice. These next couple episodes are all going to be hard fucking choices for you guys.
So what you're saying is it's barrel boys or barrack boys, yeah?
Yes. I'm definitely saying that. Yeah.
Two really bad boy bands.
There's also
I'd listen to the shit out of them, yeah.
and there's also the warehouse boys.
Which is just another type of barrel boy, really. The warehouse boys.
It's the bigger barrel.
Yeah, those boys are outside the barrels rather than in them.
What is human but a barrel?
When
a
I
barrel
picture the gods, I see but the biggest barrel. Justice is like a barrel. It's round and has rivets. Anyway, so yeah, unless anybody is trying to stop him either verbally or physically. He's going to keep on going towards his barrel boys.
Great. Jorvin, what are you doing?
I'm going to split off as well. I'm going to go to warehouse.
Salryn, what are you doing?
I'm just watching these two going opposite directions, going, fine, fuck it. I'm just going to the barracks.
Yes, let's go.
Okay.
Not to make your life harder,
Sorry.
Dylan, but...
Oh! Don't worry, it's fine, I swear.
This is where all our good rolls are going to run out, yeah. Nothing's going to work anymore.
You know that really difficult thing when you're running a D&D game and our players like, I just don't really have much of a motivation. We have too much motivation, our characters.
And it's great, I love it. Okay. Salryn, you're standing there at a literal and metaphorical crossroads, watching Swifty run one way and Jorvin the other, but you kind of stick true to your training. You're best suited to be part of something bigger that can have a bigger impact rather than checking on single things. If you go and join the rest of the city guard as a full contingent, you can do something bigger, and you set off running towards the barracks. Jorvin, you know, this is your entire life here that you've been working towards, building yourself up, trying to make, you know, a name for yourself, even if it is through unscrupulous means. You have been building something here. You know, you've only been in the city a little while, but it's, you know, it's starting to feel like it could be your place. You run off to try and get to salvage that and make sure that's still safe. Swifty, not a fucking thought is going through your head. You're just running, trying to find your barrel boys and trying to mete out the justice to those who would dare infiltrate and harm your city. And I think we'll find out what is in store for each of these characters on their separate paths on the next episode.